welcome to the Beach House.
Yeah, cheers.
Good to see you.
Delicious. Well, thanks for having us here today. Great time to recap on the
Absolutely,
construction.
yeah.
Let's hash it out and let's get back to memory lane now that you guys are open and in full force.
Absolutely, what a project it was. Honestly, it was like a pleasure working with you guys. It wasn't a tough decision, actually. Once we got down to it,
Yeah.
we were really stoked to collaborate and to make this project happen with you guys, and did it in a period of time that felt sort of undoable at the beginning, and pulled it
Yeah.
off. So it was great. And look at the results. Unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And for us, we always feel so lucky when we get chosen, like we truly do. It is so important to us when we build that we get to shape something, but to particularly shape and really be part of this community build in hospitality and just in general, where people get to enjoy new experiences is so important to us, and doing it with you guys meant the world. Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
shows, like, we've never done anything like this, and coming in here like daily or at the early times,
Yeah.
like weekly, and just seeing your staff, like Adam
Yeah.
and Chester and
Yeah.
Christian, like so much joy and like kindness. Like, construction sites can be dark sometimes,
Yeah.
and that was never the case here, and that was
Yeah.
it was actually so nice.
Yeah.
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 From our side as well, knowing like during the operation and the project build out, like our staff and everybody found working with the Four Winds team to be like super collaborative. There was no feeling of like different teams or there's different sides. Even if there was like an issue that needed to be figured out, everybody was collaborative. Everybody worked together in an efficient way,
Yeah.
which made like the project actually go extremely smooth and
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
as stressful, as less stressful as possible.
Well, we had really good communication. You guys were really good at that, like speaking our language and being totally transparent with the way
Yeah.
that you operate. And so we appreciated that. Like, we'd come in every week kind of just sort of knowing what to expect and feeling like we, fully understood the process. When we were going through the process of deciding on a contractor, we certainly were, speaking with a few other, companies, and you guys really made us feel heard and sort of understood and really spoke the same language. So it was, that was a big part of deciding to work with you guys.
Yeah, very comfortable too, like
Yeah.
right away. Felt like we were of the same cloth, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it made it easy.
The brand alignment, I think, is really important because we are going on a journey. Like, we jumped in your journey at 8 years or 7 years into it.
Yeah.
Almost 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 10
Yeah.
by the time we got to build.
Oh,
right?
you mean this project or
Yeah.
the company in whole?
No, this
This
project.
vision,
Yeah.
I would say it's in
like
eight,
7
In
or
the
8
eight,
years.
yeah.
8 years.
Hard to
yeah.
say.
So getting to jump in, understanding it, knowing it, being aware of it, and then getting to jump in, being honestly like so impressed with the design and the collaboration. You can truly tell it's you guys. Like, it is wholeheartedly your brand has been communicated through a beautiful design, and then for it to come to life and be a part of it is amazing. For us, a unique thing that we haven't really got to be a part of is, I felt, and I know Christian did too, and Adam, is that we got to be part of your hiring process. We got to see who your core team was that you built, because you
totally.
built another area of your business while you were building a space, which doesn't come lightly, doesn't come easy. There's so many variables and so many decisions. That was really special. Yeah.
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 For
Yeah,
sure.
it was easy for us to do the build out when you're able to like dictate like the vision so clearly for us to follow and like
Well, we've been-
understand, and
yeah.
you guys did a great job of that to be able to like give us that end goal and help us, not only design something and like visually, but also taking into like longevity and durability of a restaurant as
Yeah.
well, which is kind of more our experience, and like understanding what things are going to be more important for you on like maintenance schedules, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Totally. The place was like designed and built to last. Like, it's supposed to be a community hub for many, many years to come, and you guys executed on that for sure. Like, the design is obviously meant for wear and tear and for sort of like patina over time, and it's got that sort of rustic, warm charm to it. And yeah, you guys really nailed it on that as well, just executing. It was a dream project. We've been talking about this for like 8 years, right? And like the first the first sort of like conversations were that long ago, and so we've been thinking about how this would come together for a long time, and I think that shows in the level of detail and our involvement in the project as well. Like we certainly were hands-on in many ways. But yeah, it was sure came together.
Yeah.
It was a very unique project for us too. Like this is the first brewery that we've worked on. So like from a learning standpoint from our side, there was a huge portion of the brewery side of it that was very unique to us. Like we've
The
done lots of restaurants.
multi-use, and then hoping to get the brewery open early so that you could start brewing, so that you could deliver that. That was very unique for us. And then schedule. So really couldn't have asked more. Like our partners showed up, our partners showed up in just a way that facilitated us to open the earliest we've ever been able to.
That's cool.
Which is cool to get the community access to the patio, access to the weather, access to the beautiful scenery, and the season that you want it to be open in. Is really a reflection of the relationships.
Yeah, no, that it was just so important. It was crucial for us to be open during the summer, like to at least have some of the summer. The way this place is designed, it is really like a summer spot. Obviously, it's beautiful and warm and cozy in the winter too, but with the big patio and the roll-up garage doors, we really wanted people's first impression and first experience to be that like super engaging, like fun, upbeat, lively kind of like, you know,
beach house
feel, and it's supposed to feel like you're sort of on a vacation or
a resort or something like that.
Something totally different. And so to be able to meet that deadline and open up in the summer and have 6 to 8 weeks of patio weather, it was crucial and amazing, and I think that speaks to your guys' dedication in helping us sort of expedite the project and get it open. So thank you.
And because we use local partners and you use local partners for both sides of the build, that I think made a tremendous difference, because there couldn't have been anything better than seeing them enjoy it the days after you open. Like
definitely.
Seeing people, how happy they were on that patio, and seeing just like how you lit a community like overnight is really what it's all about, right? And that pays a lot to, I think, your brand and how woven you are into the community, to the development, to Southlands, and like those partnerships, I think is like, it's once in a lifetime, right?
I mean, we've never obviously opened a restaurant like this at all. We have a small tap room at our production facility, but I'll never forget like that first week. Like that was just so insane. Like when we were like, we'd have to invite hundreds of people to a soft opening to get the kitchen, their reps in, and get the staff experiencing what it's going to be like to be open. Like those days were unbelievable. How many people did we invite? Like people were like, how did hundreds? Like 2 days in a row. We had
I think it was 800 people.
I think so, or more. It was 150 people, like twice.
So like 600-ish?
600 to 800-ish, I guess. I think it was 800. I think you're right. Came through for our soft opening, incredible. And it was unreal. It was quite the feeling.
So if we talked about anything that surprised you or anything that was tricky, and we think about that, what comes to mind? I have a couple, like
the ceiling,
the cedar.
Cedar,
if we think back, like that was when we were concerned.
I think that was actually one of the ones that, like, from the very beginning, we had a lot of collaboration on. From the very start, before we even got in here, it was like, what ceiling did we want? Was it going to be like the plywood cedar? Was it going to be the board? Like, what were the options? What were the finishes?
And we kept getting samples of different cedar boards, and we're like, well, we can't get enough of this one, or this one's 8 weeks away, or whatever. And this was never even available to us. And so but the one that we chose, somehow, I forget what happened exactly, but
it got sold off.
It got sold off because we didn't quite make a decision in time. And then we wound up finding this one, which was the best version. And so it all just ended up being.
It ended up working out.
This cedar worked out really, really well.
Best version and best price?
I think so.
I think it was the same price, but it was a better overall look product. It was a little less yellow than the last shipment.
One was really pale and yellow, and one was really dark and brown.
This
was the perfect kind of.
And if we'd foreseen demand was that high, Crazy.
Yeah.
And then it is a nice piece, like, and we are really proud of it as our shop. Like, our millwork shop really contributes, and your partners that came together for all of the millwork. Without that, we probably wouldn't have been as successful to get open as quickly as we did. Like, huge kudos to both partners who did that, because that really played a part in the aesthetic and like the overall vision of like the multi-textures that you have in the space, and just the design elements that came together. Like, it's just absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
I'm curious about your thoughts. Like, we had those millwork meetings in our office where, you know, we do 3D modeling and like able to show you at each aspect of the millwork and each piece. Like,
I love that. Yeah.
does that like, did that make things a lot easier for you? Did that help with like details?
Yeah, there was one meeting in particular that I remember where we adjusted the height of the like gantry in the bar, at least for this side, and the pass, where I think made huge difference. Like, we thought that we potentially would, like, someone my height would like have to duck to look out into the dining room.
Or like where they were pouring the beer here as well.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, those shelves behind us. Yeah, we raised that by 6 inches, and that made a big difference. Yeah.
And the countertops, I think the countertops are so special. Like, that's something we'll never see again. Like, hand-chosen shells, like how much that meant to you guys, how the design like weaves into all the other designs. Like, that is something.
Absolutely.
There's a core memory for you, I'm assuming. On the other side, and the driftwood, the piece, like, that's pretty spectacular. The waterlogged.
For sure. The waterlogged driftwood, yeah. We definitely wanted to tie in elements, like we were calling ourselves Four Winds Beach House, and we wanted to tie in elements from the surrounding area. Like, we've got, you know, the beaches on all sides. Tsawwassen is a beach community in some ways, and the beach is, you know, I don't know, a few hundred meters that way, and so yeah, we were trying to figure out what type of bar top we were going to do forever. Like, originally it was wood. And we're like, oh, wood's just not gonna quite do it. Like, it's not, I don't know, it was you know, obviously there would be not as durable, so there'd be the constant refinishing, but then we didn't want something so polished as like a marble or a quartz or like something like that. And then we came across the idea of using, I was researching like different types of terrazzo and things like that, and I found somebody that was making like an oyster shell like tile, like square tiles out of like discarded oyster shells, and it clicked. And then I sent that to Craig Stangetta, and he was like, absolutely, like, we need to do that, And he's like, let's do like a composite, like, concrete bar top with shells in it. And I loved it immediately. So Melissa loved the idea, and we got the kids out on the beach collecting shells.
So cool.
I mean, it probably was like 10 different times of like, it was so much collecting of shells.
Just showing up here, you did all of it. You brought your big bucket, and then it only did half.
It was only
scope.
half, and we had to go back to the beach and keep collecting. But then we found an area that was the jackpot area, and we got a ton of them. But that was a lot of fun.
Did you guys have any conversations in the back end where you're like, I don't know if they're going to do it, or if they're going
like,
to
I
make
hope
it?
they get enough shells.
Did you guys have any? Well, there's a few for us.
I was kind of stressed out that we weren't going to have enough shells, because it's like down to the wire. Like, you have to have enough shells, because they can't stop the pouring of the epoxy in the concrete or whatever. And I was pretty worried about it, actually, but it turned out being the perfect amount.
Was there anything else?
there was a few left over that are
There's
now
a few
on the
left
top of
over,
our
yeah.
plants.
That's right.
I have some driftwood I need too.
Yeah. And then
Any other like
surprises or
surprises? Is that what you mean by anything else?
Yeah, did you have anything like you guys were talking about? Like, I always see at the end of the projects, people are like, are you sure you're gonna make it? I know there was one point you guys weren't saying that, but you're like, like the finishing of the construction comes so tight to the opening. We're pretty comfortable with it. We can put it together, but were there any moments where you guys were like, ooh?
Oh yeah, the whole time.
Yes.
Like we were the only ones that believed we would hit the opening.
Yeah.
Like nobody else did.
Yeah.
Like I think like our management team that we hired for here and our kitchen team, like they were pretty skeptical because they would come. They're not used to construction. They would come in here and be like, "There's no way we're done in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever."
Yeah.
That was definitely stressful because we were trying to line up like hiring a lot of people, training a lot of people. That period of time was really difficult to know if we were doing the right thing or like bringing people on too early or
for sure. Timing, schedule.
That was
is
hard,
everything.
but it worked out though.
Yeah.
And then during that, so we had like 90 people hired or whatever, and we wanted to do staff orientation like in the building.
Yeah.
But we didn't have occupancy, and so we're like, are we allowed to have that many people in the building? Well, I don't know. Like nobody really knows. It's kind of a gray area. But we were like, let's just do it. Let's just like get everybody in and just allow them to be in the space. It was much more impactful than doing it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well.
Yeah, for sure. Right?
But it was stressful.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We had some fun times with boiler placement in the brewery.
Yeah. Yeah, brewery is something like for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I know we leaned to you guys quite a bit on that,
Yeah.
obviously, because that's your one of your big pieces. I just like thought it was so amazing how that came together, and it is a reflection of people working together, and like so someone who's here every day and someone who knows it, and we can like collaborate on the construction side and bring it to life is like. There takes energies for it to happen. It doesn't happen by
Definitely.
accident.
And like there was a lot of challenges happening with space and like multiple trades and multiple pieces of equipment getting installed, and like ultimately everyone was calm and got through it, even though things didn't go exactly as planned, and not for anyone's real fault other than the reality of the size of things when they go into place. You expect this to fit there and that to fit here, and you need some clearances, and those things are hard to kind of predict on paper. And I think you guys were very good at accommodating some of these issues and pushing through and making it work, and it was great.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. Is like everyone was able to keep calm in those situations, and like there's stressful parts of a project. There always is. There's always things that are going to come up, but like. Kind of like we were chatting about, that team collaboration and everyone keeping a level head and working together to find the best option to be able to resolve the issue and like try to do it in an expedited time to not hold up timelines. But like it was kudos to you guys as well, because it was also part of your whole brewery operation, and you had to adjust some of the floor plan of how equipment was going to sit. To facilitate the boiler move, and so I think from like both sides.
It totally changed our way of thinking about how we were going to operate too, because the boiler wound up being in the only part of the brewery that was supposed to be for storage. And then we wound up with zero storage. So then we're like, okay, well that is a big change for us, but we had to just think about how we were going to manage that, and it would be more logistics, but we're making it work.
And it turns out like a brewery of this scale with connected production brewery that has warehousing, we don't need a lot of like material on hand. Like we get beer being delivered here regularly from our production facility, and ingredients come along with it. So it actually doesn't impact us that much. Other than we wish it was where it was, but we're okay with where it is.
Yeah, and like unique to us that this is the first we've ever done is like you guys your design was built part of this community. Like that's really neat to come into a vision that was all already woven in. Like the residential area and the side has been interwoven to your vision, right? Because you had partners and collaboration that was much more long term than like you take a box and you turn it into it. You had this, and I think that's what brings it to life. Like the fireplace is a perfect example. A fireplace is like creates such a mood when you walk into the space, but like already having that interwoven into your vision was like really, really cool. And same on the brewery side. You're not making a box into something, you're like literally designing it forward.
Everything was so intentional here. Like I think that was part of a result of having so much time to think about it. And like Brent and I grew up in this community and in Tsawwassen, and it sort of, I don't want to speak for Brent, but I think it's been a dream of ours to do this and to provide like an establishment like this that is more of like a social hub and something that's warm and welcoming, but also really lively and fun. And I think that's what's been missing. Like that's what we feel has been missing in this community. And I think there's a lot of people that really appreciate that.
Yeah,
and it's
bring it to life.
something new. And but I also like sometimes pinch myself a little bit, being like, I can't believe we're brewing beer in Tsawwassen. We grew up in this town. I would never have dreamt that we would have a brewery in this town. Like having a brewery in an industrial park, that was our first big dream, and we realized that vision, and that's a part of the community, certainly because it's in Delta.
Yeah, it's very appropriate.
But this is like this is a small town, and like we were able to pull this vision off and bring it to life is pretty unreal. And sometimes I'm like, wow, like this was brewed in Tsawwassen.
Yeah, and like for us, we truly are building incredible spaces to shape community. And when you get to check that box at this level, is like, it's incredible, really. And as we say, like the partnership we had with you, we couldn't appreciate it more. It was a wonderful year building with you guys, and we learned a lot from it. We had wonderful experiences, and we leave here so proud. And then we get to come back and enjoy it, and that's all part of it, and share it with many, many others.
Well, honestly, you living in Tsawwassen and being so familiar with our brand and our story was a part of it too. Like you were here all the time, and we really appreciated that. And seeing you here as a customer now is awesome.
So fun.
I mean, like watching our team during the family and friends, like opening of it and getting to see like the people that had spent so much time and effort working on it to like have that kind of like release of it, you know, it's over and we get to experience it, and then also like the gratitude towards them, like the showing of like, hey, like so we appreciate the work that you guys did, and like everybody kind of left that night. The next day we're like talking about it, like how great it was. Like,
nice. That's awesome.
And for you guys, like for you, for us, Pacific is so much larger than just the build. There's so many intricate parts. Our finance team, as Brooke, as everyone's part of it, they all play a part, and they all get really, really deeply ingrained in it, but not everybody gets to experience it as it comes to life the way that the construction team does, right? And gets to execute it. So it's a joy, a true
being able
joy.
to bring like Enfys out, who's just done the project billing of the whole thing, and then gets to see photos here and there, but then to like actually see what was done.
It must be kind of cool as a construction company. A lot of times, in construction, you're building buildings or houses or whatever, but you guys, do a lot of different things. But one of the things that you do really, really well are restaurants, and you get the opportunity to come visit the space that you built. That must be kind of cool.
And for us, like one of our core values is solutionists, and that's where the fun is. Like really, and this was for us was like quite complex with the 3 uses. Not something that we didn't think we couldn't tackle, but we just didn't necessarily know how it would all go down. And then a design package of this like intent is complex, but it's super fun because the end result is going to be good. Like there's just no question. And then add your passion and the amount of time that you guys had to like align your vision. For our team, I understood, but for our team to understand that you've been working just on this almost as long as your brand is like a very cool thing to be a part of. And not an everyday opportunity, right? And so I think that is what continues to keep your spirit of your brand and your alignments and your partnerships and stuff like that. So it's a joy.
Like you said, like it's one of the most rewarding things for me is like being able at the end to take people I know or family members that I know and be able to like share in that experience and bring them to a place that we helped on the project and show off.
Yeah, that's cool.
Is definitely one of the things that I like most about working with Pacific and what we do. So
Absolutely.
And it's time for cheers.
Cheers. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.